Hello, welcome to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lita. As always, I am excited, and I'm definitely excited when I can do these in person. And of course, we are at the amazing Girani Coffee House. This is Amara's first time here, so shout out to Ken, shout out to Girani Coffee House. But I am so excited to have today's conversation and Pivotal Moments. So let's get right into the conversation. Amara, welcome to Pivotal Moments. Tell everybody who you are.
Thank you so much, Lita. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Amara Charles. I am a marketing and outreach manager. I manage government contracts. I also own GraceFull Lashes and Beauty here in Northern Virginia. And I have recently been awarded Miss Curvey, Virginia. I will be representing, and hopefully I win that title of USofA for Curvey National. So I'm really excited.
Awesome.
A lot of great things happening, but more importantly, I'm so grateful to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much. That is so awesome.
Thank you.
Well, of course, you know, it is Pivotal Moments, and we are talking about moments that we have, right? So what pivotal moment will you be sharing with us today?
So I will be talking about that moment that I knew that God really wanted me to open up and establish GraceFull Lashes and Beauty. That was a really big moment in my life. And it's one that has forever changed the trajectory of who I thought I was and who it is I know that God has called me to be.
Wow. So let's hear it. Talk about it.
Sure. So I recently moved from New York to Northern Virginia. I say recently, but it was probably about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it was when I moved here that I faced that moment of not knowing what was going to happen next. Meaning I do have an MBA, and I thought that, you know, with the education that I have, that I automatically had a foot in the door, you know, regarding job opportunities. And I found that when I arrived here, it was really, really hard to find a good job. And so I lie to you not, I started off working part-time. I was making, I think, $7.15 an hour. I think that's the minimum wage here in Virginia, which is crazy. I haven't made that since I was in high school, to be honest.
Right.
But I started off working part-time, and then I worked at a really big run-on organization, but it was about an hour and a half away each way because Northern Virginia traffic is crazy. And it was starting off at that part-time job, working about 10 hours a week. I was able to get on a government contract working with the Marine Corps. And funny enough, I thought, you know, God had definitely answered prayer. And when I started the job, I was told thereafter that they were only going to pay me like once a month. And so I was still going to get my salary, but just once a month. And I remember that feeling of, oh my gosh, God, like I have New York state bill, you know, I have bills from New York. I'm used to getting paid twice a month.
Yeah.
And I had that moment of, God, what am I going to do now? I felt like it wasn't going to suffice. And I knew that something had to be done. And it's as if God had this moment with me where he literally said, I prepared you for this. You are starting from the bottom because I want you to solely depend upon me. And it was one of those crazy aha moments because for years I had a cosmetology license that I did absolutely nothing with. But I've loved lashes since I was in high school. A really good friend of mine taught me how to do my own lashes. And I remembered, oh my gosh, there's this thing that I know how to do. And I actually have the license for it. Why don't I just start a lash business?
Wow.
And it's the most interesting thing because I started a business in a state where I know no one. And the funny thing is what made me most marketable was myself because I can lash myself. I can put eyelash extensions, on myself.
Yeah.
And I remember even when I had this brilliant idea to start the business, but I didn't have anyone to practice on. I didn't have marketing. I literally had nothing. And God said, use yourself. And I remember talking to someone and saying, hey, let's collaborate, you know, woman to woman. Let's actually, like, you know, black girl magic. Let's work together. You can do the hair. I can do the lashes. I literally would pay for everything. And I remember her saying, no, I don't associate my brand with every and anybody. Wow. And it literally felt like, oh my gosh, I thought this is a really good opportunity to collaborate with another woman. And she shut me down. And when I tell you, I felt that, it felt like a kick in my stomach.
Of course.
And it was as if God said, I want you to solely depend upon me. Just trust me when you can't trace me. And I remember being on Stafford, I believe it was the Stafford Talk page, and there was someone who's a really good friend now. She had actually posted about just wanting to do a photo shoot. And literally she said, I'll pay for everything. I just need some faces, someone to be a model. And it was as if God strategically, put all the pieces in place. And what he was waiting on was for me to just be faithful with the little bit that I had. So I started off my business. I had like 2 clients a month. And I remember starting off in a room And I mean, we lived on base at the time, so it was like a townhouse type of home.
Yeah.
And they would have to come up like 3 flights of stairs, up and down, and they were my good and faithfuls.
Wow.
And from there, God literally established me, and it was as if He just wanted me to trust Him.
Wow.
And when someone shut the door in my face, I mean, someone that I thought that I could depend upon, God literally provided someone else. And her giving me the opportunity to just be a part of this photo shoot, I was able to use those photos that she paid for. It's crazy. She paid for the entire thing, but I was gonna put all this money into something, and God literally provided someone to just bless me with an opportunity. And the pictures that she provided me became the face of my brand.
Wow.
And since then, it's been this beautiful experience of service. And in the midst of me having a need, God provided once I made myself available to serve. And that has been the experience of a pivotal moment where I literally thought, I came from New York, I had a really good job, moved to Virginia, it was really hard to find something, started off making minimum wage and getting into a job that I thought was it, and then they just changed, the way that they were gonna pay, and I had to start something else. And God was just like, just trust me. And now I have this thing that I've birthed, and it's bloomed, and it's created opportunity after opportunity. And more than that, it has allowed me to meet so many women who are going through. And the beauty of it is not the finance. The beauty of it is just being able to meet women and to encourage and to inspire, and to be encouraged and to be inspired, and to literally feel like it's that blessing that has been it's provided so many blessings for others. And to now be able to give back to my community, and to be a face of something else that's bigger than myself, but to know that it started off because God put that, He just planted that seed, and it blooms in the right time.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I was getting goosey. I know. I mean, it's such a beautiful story because one, it's about not giving up, right? And just like you said, putting your trust in God and faith in Him. But then I love what you said about ultimately being able to help other people and be a face and encouragement to other people, and that in itself is amazing and huge. So, as we talk about that pivotal moment, what would you say is the unchangeable thing that you got from that? That thing that you realized everything else must center around that.
Service. I would say it's been service and allowing God to lead in that service, primarily because when you start off a business and it blooms, it's so easy to become haughty and to think that it's me, especially when you are the face of the brand. And recognizing that there's been so many places I've gone and women know me because of my face, and not realizing that a lot of times just the way that I interact, the way that I treat people, and just a heart to serve. Knowing that when you are in business, I've had the experience where service providers do take advantage of you. You walk into the nail salon, you think, okay, I'll pay $30 just to get a manicure or to get a fill-in. You walk out paying like $60.
Yeah.
And it's like, what in the world happened? Like, what was it? What got us here?
Right. Right.
And so recognizing that there's an opportunity that you have to either be honest or to be dishonest, depending upon the money and that being the motivation. And every single time, pride would want to step in and say, I did this. God literally is just like, no, it's not about you. It's about your service to me. Wow. And so when I say service, understanding that when it comes down to women are different. We're different. We're a different breed. Yes. As we all know.
Right.
But the beauty of just knowing that all of my whole life is meant to just encourage and uplift and empower another woman, and being able to do that where money's not the motivation. It really is just about the experience and the encounter that I have every single time. Every single time you come to me, it's a choice that you're making, and it's a blessing to then be able to service you, and allowing that attitude of service and servant leadership and servitude to be that very thing that just sets another woman's soul on fire, just to be able to service her.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Wow. I love it. Okay. So talking about, let's switch gears a bit to adjustments, right? So we always bring that into the conversation, as my viewers know, because it's all about those different moves that we have to make in order to be successful in life. And so adjustment really kind of can take on a different meaning, right? It can be adapting to something uncomfortable. So talk a little bit about when you've had to make the adjustment rather than the pivot.
Sure. So adjusting. I think one of the things that we don't always think about is the more blessings you receive, the more you're going to have to adjust. We pray for the blessing. We pray for the many clients. We don't think about, oh my gosh, more clients means more service, more hours. And then the more you have an attitude of servitude, the more faithful you are to God, the more he blesses you with. And so this beautiful blessing that started off with 2 has now turned to, over 50. And the more clients I have, my job has changed. I now have a lot more responsibility. And so with that, it means that I have to maneuver differently. I couldn't just walk away. We pray for the blessing. We pray for more clients. We pray for a better job. We pray for a promotion. And once we get those things, you forget that it requires more work. It requires more discipline. It requires more giving of self. And so having to adjust to having more, but not losing the attitude of servitude, not losing the very thing that has differentiated me from those who are doing what it is I do, not losing an attitude of joy in the midst of feeling tired. So instead of, and I've seen so many people get to that place where the blessing is great, but it just requires so much more. I've seen people walk away. I've seen people hand their baby over to someone else. And I've literally said, God, just sustain me. Just give me more strength. Give me an attitude of gratitude, even though I'm grateful. I'm tired, Lord. And learning how to rest, but not stop. Learning how to trust and not just walk away. And so instead of pivoting, I've had to learn how to adjust to the blessings, because when you are faithful in that, God continues to deliver on it. But we just have to remember.
Oh my goodness, y'all. First of all, I don't know if it's a new thought, but it feels very new to me right now. This concept of adjusting to the blessing.
Yeah.
Because, we, like you said, that's what we work for. We work for the blessing, we work for the reward, but we don't often think that in itself is going to require adjustment, which may be uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I need to remember that. I'm going to put that in my journal, so I hope y'all did. Wow. That is some good stuff. So, as if you haven't already dropped enough, as we come to the end of the conversation, what do you want to leave directly with the viewers? What do you want to share with them?
I would encourage everyone who is listening to embrace a small beginning and bloom where you're planted. When I say embrace a small beginning, oftentimes we look at the little that we have and we're comparing the little to someone else's, we're comparing our first step to someone else's 10, and so social media is great for that. It's a highlight reel of someone's success, but we don't always talk about the moments that have gotten us to the many disappointments that we have. And so if God has given you a vision, if God has literally put something in your spirit to do not dismiss it because of the small beginning. Do not dismiss that seed that he has planted in you, because it can be something great because he put it there. And the other side of not despising the small beginning is blooming where you're planted. You are so great as you are. And I honor you for that. I share in that with you. I pour my love on that, and I'm cheering you on. But your greatness does not demise mine. And so just understanding who I am and appreciating who you are and allowing myself to bloom in the gifts that God has, just blessed me with. And also cheering you on every single step of the way for the gifts that God has uniquely blessed you with. So when I say bloom where you're planted, instead of throwing shade on a sister or throwing shade on your neighbor because they're shining in their moment, love them. And also take care of that seed that God has blessed you with, because just as he has blessed them, he will bless you too. But it's all about the attitude of gratitude. It's all about just watering that seed that God has placed in you, and then also just being able to love on other people in their season, so that when it's your turn, you're reaping the benefit of that love and that seed that you planted in them as well.
I hope y'all got that, because I will be replaying this over and over again. It's such a powerful message, though. It really is. And so much of what you said, from the social media to just, sometimes we do get a little lost, and we see other people thriving, and we can, if we're not blooming where we are planted, we can start to get lost in just watching what someone else is doing. And then, all it takes is just a small seed of envy, right? Yep. And then before you know it, you can't do what you're supposed to be doing because you're worrying about what somebody else is doing.
Exactly. That was the whole word right there. That was so good.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been an amazing conversation.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so definitely share with everyone, how can they find you. For my viewers, you'll see it on the screen. For my listeners, listen carefully.
So you can find me on my personal Instagram page, I_am_Grace. If you want to find me on Facebook, my name is Amara Charles. If you want to follow my business page to, book a lash appointment or just see, how we're continuing to uplift the women in the community, you can find me at GraceFull Lashes and Beauty LLC on both Instagram and on Facebook. And as I shared, I am a part of an amazing beauty pageant, and I will be competing in May and June. So you can find my page at Mrs. Globe/Miss Curve Virginia 2022. So that's how you can follow me, and I hope that we have a chance to interact again soon.
I love it. Thank you so much, Amara. This has been amazing. And again, I just have to say, from the moment that I first met you, we got to participate in a panel discussion for Virginia Black Business Directory.
Yes.
Shout out.
Yes.
Yes. And I think I speak for everyone who came in contact with you that day, that you were just such a beautiful spirit and just so encouraging. And even after the panel discussion, people were lining up to want to speak to her because it was just so, you just have it. You just have it. And it's something that we feel refreshed to receive. So I really am thankful and honored to know you.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity, and I cannot take credit because all that I am is because of God's grace and His glory. So as long as He is shining in and through me, then that's really all that matters. But I thank you for even considering me for this amazing opportunity. It was such a joy to be with you, to meet you then, and to know you now.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited for the many great things that God has in store for you.
Thank you. Well, we're going to keep loving on each other, but we're going to let y'all go. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in to Pivotal Moments with Lita. And we will see you next time. And again, check out all the website, the information, all that. And if you would like to share your story and your pivotal moment, definitely make sure to reach out at info@lolitaharlem.com. And again, we will see you next time on Pivotal Moments with Lita.
Yes.